Hello, 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 everyone. Yeah, welcome to Ancestry Berry Show that comes on live on every Friday from 7 to 8 p.m. That's, because we have few technical problems and issues. I mean, we couldn't start at that time. So, yeah, bear with us. And also, you can listen to us on TuneIn. You can listen to us on Modern Ghana. Also, you can watch us live on Voice of the Nation Radio, and you can also watch us live on Voice of the Nation Radio on YouTube. Today, as we'll be putting out there, we have the privilege to interview Miss Rene, Kerry Rene, who is running for Congress to be a Congresswoman. So, as I said, it's a privilege for her to be with us. And we also I have my team, Dr. Ali, um, Mr. Richard Akins, and our special guest. So we're gonna ask questions, and also the lines are also gonna be open. Though we have issue today, but again, you can send in your text, and then we're gonna read it. So we're asking everyone to be part of what we are going to do. Again, Miss Renee, you're welcome.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. Um, and I'm very honored to be on your show today.
Okay, so I would like my panels also to introduce themselves. You're also welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Richard Akins, and I'm one of the producers of Voice of the Nation, and I work in very close relationship with Barry, and I have a satellite studio offsite, and most of the time we do these kinds of interview via virtual. But we thought we were going to have the congresswoman here so that we could speak with her face to face. But all the same, we are doing it virtual, and we will still go ahead and answer the questions that we have. My name is Richard Akins. I have I host the program, Mr. Incognito, and I do it Monday through Thursday from 9 to 11. And so that's about it. That's about it. So today I'm a pundit, one of the uh, guests here to speak to Rene, Karen, and we hope our interview goes smoothly. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And if Dr. Lee is around, if also can tell us a little bit, but because of technical problems, so I guess he's going on and off. But um, if dog is not on it, okay, then again, yeah, listening to Voice of the Nation Radio, coming on live from ATL, Atlanta, Georgia. And we're also waiting to set some things up, and we're still putting things together, but I know everything will go as planned because then we have to change things. Okay, so Doc, when you're able to get on it, let us know. If not, also we keep rolling. Now, those who are listening to us, again, you can listen to us on tuning. Just tune into Voice of the Nation Radio on tuning. You can listen to us also on Modern Ghana, and you can listen to us on Facebook Live, Voice of the Nation Radio, and also on YouTube. Yes, so we have the privilege to have Miss Kerry Renee, who's like, I'll put it straight up. She's going to be one of our congresswomen. I'm prophesying, right? Okay, so the topic is why should we vote for her? And yes, we want to know why we should vote for her. That's why she's here to tell us. So more or less, I'll let her tell us a little bit about herself, and then we will start with our questions. But again, we want everyone to be part of what we're doing. So the lines are open. and you can call in whilst she's telling us a little bit about herself, and we go on with our questions and why we think she should be a congresswoman. So, Miss Rene, please, we would like you to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you so much. I'm Karen Rene. I graduated from the great University of Alabama State University with a political science degree. I have a law degree. I have been elected for over 10 years, nearly 10 years, as a city council member. And I have worked pretty much all my life serving others. The great Congressman John Lewis actually asked me to serve as a congressperson, city council person, asked me to run for city council, and so I did, and I won. And so I've been working in my community, serving others here for 10 years. I am so grateful to be here and to share this great platform with um, the Voices of Nations. So, is there any other questions? I'm from Selma, Alabama. I was raised on a farm. My dad still lives on the farm and still farms today. My nephew bought 163 acres of farmland, and now he's a commercial farmer in Selma, Alabama. So I live in the Atlanta area, and I'm here.
Wow, that's really awesome. So, I mean, at least she have tell us a little bit about herself. Now, we also want to know, like, I mean, they say charity begins at home. So now, I mean, in your country, can you tell us? I mean, can you tell us things that you have done that the community should be proud of you to say yes because of what she have done? There's no doubt we have to vote for her.
All right. So one of the things that I'm very proud of in my tenure as city council member, during the COVID vaccination um, in the great city of East Point was 77, probably close to 80% African American. And the schools closed down in the county. So a lot of our young people were home, and a lot of the people were out of work because the city was shut down, counties were shut down, jobs were shut down as well. And so what happened was, in this great divide that we were experiencing in the COVID, I initiated, my team members and I initiated the fact that we would not cut off anybody's utilities. Our city is very small, but it was very complex. That we own our own utilities, our water, our sewage, our garbage, and all of that. And a lot of those things came on one utility bill. And we, as a council, decided that for the last 18 months in COVID, throughout the COVID epidemic, we would not cut off utilities because we wanted to make sure that our young people had an opportunity to learn from home. And we knew that parents were not working, and we did not want our students to suffer. And so that is one of the greatest things that we did. And had it not been for a council that served for the people, a lot of people would have went without. Also, one of the best initiatives that we did was when I first came on in 2014 as a city council person, our city was run down with a lot of blighted properties, dilapidated housing, trash everywhere in the communities. And so I wanted to make a difference for our young people. So when they walked to school, they would not walk to school in filth, trash, and blighted properties. So we created a blighted task force, which indicated that a lot of our properties were bought up by corporations and by people who didn't live in our town. And they allowed the properties to be run down to drive down the property value. The property value at that time was about $5,000 to $20,000. You could buy a house in that area in some of my districts. And what we did was we went in and got together with a team of people and we went through the community picking up paper. We boarded up houses and we forced the owners of these houses to either repair them, sell them, or even to demolish them. And right now in that same community, you cannot buy property now for under 250,000. In fact, houses have sold in that very same community for $750,000. I believe in serving our communities to making sure that people do not come in and hold our people hostage, to make sure we fight for one another and be productive in getting things done and creating new opportunities for our families.
That's really awesome. I mean, like the way you're saying things that you be doing, you get involved, you are part of it. The side I love most is about the youth, which I'll come back to that because this they are our future leaders. So it's like if we can, you know, we can motivate them to do things, or we can help them to a different level, it means we have a great future. Well, I'll come back to that. I mean, when it comes to the youth and business, because it's like, I mean, I'll come back to that because I'm more into that. But I'd like Mr. Akins also to ask you 3 or 5 questions, and then we take it from there.
Yes, sir.
Well, Miss Karen, good evening once again, and this is Richard Akins.
Hi.
When you were speaking, it looks as if you've been running for office for a very long time, being on the city council.
Mhm.
And what interested me was when you started talking about the housing policies. So, and may his soul rest in peace. You made mention of John Lewis, who encouraged you to be coming to this uh, profession, or I would say into the political scene to run for an office. And I have a question. I know you being a Democrat. So what will the Democrats do, especially concerning housing? Yeah, are they going to support the national housing policy, especially for colored people or for black people? Because I heard you say something about housing values that were being deteriorated, and how you coming into the community and putting your hands on the plow made it possible that the housing value in the area has really gained value.
Yes, sir.
And most of the time when we are building houses, we usually forget about people with disability. And one of my passion is taking care of people with disability. So when I go to offices or places where it's difficult for people with disability to have access to such places, it becomes an issue for me. And I will be very, very grateful if you'll be able to maybe elaborate what your party would do in this area of the housing industry.
Okay. So um, you asked very good questions. One of the things that I did with my senior citizens as as they were starting aging out, and some of my ADA um, community members, we wanted to make sure that all of our government building was accessible. And we did make sure that as we looked around our government facilities, they were able to come in and out of the building safely. Now, a lot of things that I did in our community was partner with um, humanitarian of amenities, humanitarian. Jimmy Carter's
Hab-
thing.
Habitat
Habitat.
for
There you go. I'm
Humanity.
sorry.
Habitat
Habitat
for
for
Humanity.
Humanities. Please forgive me. And they have a program for seniors who own their own houses that needed additional repairs to them, because a lot of times as we're aging and we're on retirement or one income benefits, we're not able to put in the financial means to repair our homes. So, like bathrooms with handrails and hallways that
Mm.
need handrails in them, and even coming up into the front porch to get into the house or the back part of it. So, the Habitat, I partner with them, and we got a lot of our seniors' home repairs built on those. But I want to talk about the immigrant status for the United States on the congressional level. I want to make sure that we can streamline a lot of the policies and the paperwork to help um, Ghana citizens and immigrants to streamline a lot faster to become citizens for the United States. A lot of our people come over, and it's a lot of red tape to help them to become citizens or even to get their green cards. We need to make sure that we streamline these processes so people can go to work and be able to live decent and productive lives. And that's one of the initiatives that we want to work on with immigrants to make sure when they come here, we have a good, clear plan with their visas to to move them right on into citizens or even to a work visa to make sure that all is well and they can continue to live as productive citizens in the United States.
Thank you, thank you. That's very interesting, and I really appreciate you giving me that kind of explanation. Makes me have more hope for our people who are here. And going from there, I think my next question will be on poverty, jobs, and financial security. I don't know. It looks as if we are not highly educated in especially the financial situations, and most of the time you see that we are very impoverished concerning maybe our income levels doesn't make us live the life that we want to live. And what I would like to find out from you, or what you and your party have decided to do about educating people about the financial status, because at times we say we can be free, but we are so economically not free, because
Right.
little that we have doesn't go far. And a lot of people, though they are working, some are working 2 or 3 jobs to try to make ends meet. And with this economy, the way the economy is, how are you going to help us maybe find good jobs that are within the sphere where people will say, okay, though I'm not fully financially covered, but I'm still within my means where I can get whatever I need, or the
Mhm.
things that I, I want, I can have it. Or do I say need or want? Now we have to differentiate when is the time that I need something and when is the time I want something.
Right.
So if you will be able to elaborate a little bit on that for me, I would really appreciate it.
Inflation is very real today, and it seems to be kind of escalating and going up. And the saddest part about this is the inflation is not meeting the wages that we are experiencing here in America. And so, one of the ways that I propose that we do things first, entrepreneurship, and you, Barry, and yourself owning your own radio station, you may want to expand. SBA has a lot of programs for small businesses like yourselves to expand and have so that you can have a broader reach across the country. So SBA, again, these applications that the federal government holds are extremely taxing and long and tedious and sometimes overwhelming when you're starting to read a lot of the languages. I have a law degree, and sometimes these applications can be extremely difficult to get through. And if you're owning your own business, sometimes you don't have the time to even sit to do these long applications and to process them in because you're handling everything going on in your business. So, one, SBA, who's supposed to help with our entrepreneurship to expand business, can also help us with to help us meet those inflation needs and wages that we're experiencing, because we do know small businesses in America is also the fabric and the foundation of our country. And so we want to make sure that small businesses are there and to continue to meet the needs in our communities. Number two, the education piece is critical. We're going to have to start really not just educating our people from I don't think college is always the answer for everybody. There's a lot of grants that are from U.S. Department of Labor and training that our young people can get into without having to experience the overwhelming or the overwhelming debt of a 4-year college. Plumbing, there's a lot of plumbing trades, HVAC, electrical, and these hard trades, even painting, can lead you to a lifetime of experiencing salaries that are way beyond $100,000. But the key is making sure our people are trained and learned in these capacities so that they can go out and be entrepreneurs to even experience the equity that our counterparts are experiencing in this country. So, with education, training is a key. I think for us to experience better paying jobs in the United States. But I think that a lot of us can do these things without having to experience paying out a lot of money to four-year universities. And I think they have their place. I'm not knocking them. But I think there's so many great opportunities in our trades that a lot of our young people overlook. That cybersecurity is another great trade that you don't have to have anything but a certification in, but you can experience over $100,000 salary in these in these spaces. I think we just have to learn and talk to our young people to tell them where the good jobs are. So often we have portrayed that being in a four-piece suit or a three-piece suit is the answer, and a lot of times it's not the answer. Sometimes it's owning your own business. A lot of times it's owning your own business to make sure that you have the needs to meet your family, to make sure that your family is okay.
Thank you very much. And the main reason why I'll draw on this topic is I've worked with a lot of people, especially people of my own color or people in my environment. And what they at times they say, okay, we are setting up our own business.
Mm-hmm.
They start go set up their own business, and within a few years, it collapses because they are never given the opportunity to train themselves properly, or they are not well educated, especially in the kind of business that they are going into. For example, my son is a how do you call it? He's a technician. He works
Okay.
for a company.
Mm-hmm.
One day he told me, Dad, I want to open my own business. I said, do you have capital? You see,
Mm-hmm.
and you see, a lot of us think, oh, we can go out and open our own business, but forgetting that maybe the capital involvement of the capital that we are going to use, we think, oh, I see this person having his own business, I see that person have his own business, so I can also have my own business because I'm a technician. But they forget that you should build a clientele base before you can start that. And I'm just trying to find out how, what will you do to help so that people get training, special training, before they decide to set off on their own. I remember you said something with that SBA loans, and they
Yeah.
can give you the loan, but if you don't have the training or the
Yeah.
ability to
Right.
set it up properly,
Mm-hmm.
you are going to put yourself in debt. By the time you are aware, the capital is gone, you haven't been able to set up properly, and you have nothing to show off. You see, that is a major concern of mine. That's why I'm trying to find how best are you going to help us with within this.
I I think we need to make an easier pathway for young people to
Ex-
train at community colleges. I
Mhm,
was talking to a pastor the other day, and I was talking to him. I said, you guys have a nonprofit organization. You have prime real estate sitting here Monday through Friday vacant, but you have classrooms that are available, which can be used as office spaces and training spaces of education. And the U.S.
mhm,
Department of Labor loves to partner with faith-based communities. And so, why can't we do a training right there in the community so that young people, you don't have to travel as far, but you can travel right there in your own community to a church building where training could be possible. And nonprofit organizations or even businesses who can rent out small spaces can have mentors right there on the ground to help them grow in that space. So you got education, training,
mhm.
and then your local right there in the community, where you have other businesses there in the same environment to help you thrive. So
Thank you very
my
much.
proposal is everybody shouldn't have to go to a four-year university, but we could put trade schools and trade opportunities right
Mhm.
there in the community to help our young people to do that. And we can also have apprenticeship programs where your son, who kind of jumped out there a little bit too fast, he could
Mhm.
navigate his way through an apprenticeship program, train under other people for years, like 2 or 3 years, get his footing and his foundation together. So that what happens is when he is released, he can do his own thing and be really solid in the community. That is what we're proposing, and I know that these programs will work.
My final question is going to be on our health, and most of the time we take this kind of health situation for granted,
Yes,
especially with mental health issues. So, if you are voted into office concerning mental health, how are you going to drum or trumpet it that it becomes an issue that we can really be laws will be made for that, that we don't take people for granted when they seem to be lost, or they it touches me so much with this issue, though there are a lot of health issue questions that I would like to ask, but this mental health issue has been on my heart for a very long time, and
I agree.
now that I have an opportunity to talk to somebody who is running for an office, I will be glad if you can maybe give me uh, your line of direction towards this issue.
I agree with you 100%. We have to do better in our health. Well, first of all, I really want us, United States of America, to have universal health care. Other countries are doing it, and there's no reason for
Mhm.
us not to have universal health care in America. So that's one of the things that I would love to work on and push for. Number two, mental health. You are absolutely right. Even on the local levels, we need to be bringing more funding in to make sure that mental health, especially in our communities, are are capable and able to be in our communities. The fact is, I remember when my daddy used to say, mental health is noted, but it's not documented. Then we
Mhm.
know people, even in our communities or even in our families, who are struggling with mental health, but we don't, it's such a stigma at times to even deal with it or even ask for therapy. You know, as a woman, I go to the doctor to make sure I have a good checkup, a good physical checkup. And then if there's something out of sort, they give me the medication or the therapy I need for my physical body. And and I move on and I gain my full health back, right? Um, but however, mental health can come along in all kinds of ways. You can lose a parent or a loved one or a child, and depression could set in. And therapy may be needed to help you move through those processes. But for some reason, we struggle with those things and we pile on a lot of things when sometimes there is no return. And so mental health is a
Yeah.
really serious, even when we're working with the police department, I think that we should have a mental health crisis unit on staff to make sure that when police, can you still hear me?
Oh,
I think someone's
yes,
trying to call me.
yes, we have a little bit
So
technical problem, but
I
So
can
we can
still
what
hear
hear
you
you.
happens
now.
is
Mhm.
we want to make sure that those people are well taken care of, and there's not a stigma attached to it at all. We, in our communities, we need mental health, and it's so needed. And so the funding has to be in place so that we can make sure on the local level those things are valued. I believe that mental health should also there should be a mental health unit, therapists that are working on the police department. For instance, when we call 911, if your house is on fire, they send the fire truck, right? If if you're having a heart attack, they send you an ambulance. If you're having someone breaking your house, they send the police. But if you're having a mental crisis, they send the police who may not be equipped to deal with mental health issues. And a
Mhm.
lot of times in our communities, it ends up not in a good way. And so I
Yeah.
think that we should have mental health on staff with the police department so that when the 911 operator is dialed and they are identifying a mental health issue, we should have therapists and a mental health crisis team to go out with the police to help deal with those situations to minimize the damages in our community. I truly believe in that. But I think that it should be funded on the ground for those certain things. I think that should be mandatory. Don't get me started with this.
Yeah.
But mental health is dear to my heart as well.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Miss Karen. And I'll give the mic back to Mr. Barry to continue.
Yes. So I think most of my questions have been answered, but again, there's a lot of questions that we want people have sent to us that
I can't hear you anymore.
Oh,
Barry, I
okay.
can't
Please.
hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now? Hello? Can you hear me? Wow. Hello? Can you hear
I
me?
can't hear anybody anymore.
Hello, can you
Oh,
hear me?
okay.
I can barely hear you. I don't know what happened.
Oh, well, the network is really bad today, but I
Let me
hope
ask
you
you a
can.
question. Do you think that it's possible that I could come into the radio station and on Tuesday morning with you and just have a conversation as well?
Um, yes, maybe we can set it up like that. We can set it up, but yeah, we will look on the schedule because it's like we have so much questions and like your answers are raising more questions and making it more interesting because it's like when you talk about housing, talking about the youth, you cover like immigration, about work, about how this youth can move to a different level. These are the kind of things we want to hear. These are the kind of things that we really looking forward. But again, yes, we can do that. But then, can you hear me now? Ah, I think she's having a issue with the hello. Okay, so to all our listeners and our followers, she having problem. It's kind of we've been having problems when we started, so please bear with us, and we wish everything will go through because she have solid answers. She have like all that she's saying is what we all looking forward, but want to hear more and want to ask more. So we wish, I mean, the network will go on well and we can ask few of our questions. And also, if she asked if she can be here. Yes, we would love her to be here with us. As today, she was supposed to be here, but because of, I mean, y'all know traffic and a whole lot of issues, so it couldn't be. But we will find any means to bring her here so that she can tell you guys and express herself to everyone better. But so far, so good. I mean, the way she answered her questions, the way she saying things, mistaken. What do you think? Because I think I'm loving it.
Well, it's really interesting. I think we should find time to schedule so that we can be together with her
Yes.
in person here in the
The
studio,
studio, yes.
and then people will call in and
That would be great. That would be great because when you ask her about this about this housing thing, and when you're getting old, and she came out with the immigration things, which is very 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 important. Especially the immigrants. I mean, what are they doing? Like somebody want to get into business, like the way you said. I mean, they need to be educated because if you are not being educated on it, we all want to be financial. We want to have our financial freedom.
Exactly.
So it looks like things that her vision that she bringing on board. I think I want to follow. I want to follow, and I think she will have my vote. So far, she's able to convince me. But again, we want to bring her here.
Yeah, I think the best is that
Yes.
it's what actually happened today due to all these technical problems and because the schedule we have to reschedule again and find out when she will be available to come and sit here with us, and then
Yes.
we
Yes.
do
So
an in-person interview.
that'll be great. So maybe mistakes. I mean, she's saying Tuesday morning, but maybe we can also bring her next Friday. What you think?
Let's see
Her
if next
schedule,
week.
right?
Yeah, and I
And
also
hmm
I don't know if it's going to be possible with Me.
Okay,
But let me look at the schedule. Let me look at the schedule and
exactly,
let's see.
exactly. And our listeners, you also be part of it because as we thinking, you also be part of the show, right? So y'all can also send texts and tell us, okay. But I know Mr. Akins is booked on Friday, right? But you guys can say some, so we can see if we can bring her Saturday or maybe Sunday evening. That would be good because if she's here, I mean, a lot of questions will be answered. And so far, I think I'm loving every information that she put in out there. And again, we have about just 20 minutes for the show to be over. And what we will do is um, mistaken. So so far, like I mean,
Well, she's very very impressive though
mhm,
from the way she's been talking about her
mhm,
vision and what she wants to do when she's elected as a congresswoman.
mhm,
It gives more light to us, especially our brothers and sisters from
mhm.
the diaspora who has been here and
Yes,
trying to make this place their home, how they are going to
exactly.
settle down
And
and
also, she
everything.
want people to have their freedom. She want people to feel at home, especially
Exactly.
immigrants. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? And that's all we all want. I
Yeah,
mean,
because we don't have this education about how to go through the process.
she
People are here
to train and all that.
well
I think
documented and
Congresswoman is here. Maybe we get a few chance also to talk. Though we have about 19 minutes. As we said, I mean the network is really bad, but so far so good. I mean, hello, Miss.
Hi, can you hear me?
yeah, we
Yes,
can hear
can you
you.
hear us?
Okay. Yes, I can hear you clearly. There was a
Thank you.
question in the chat that asked, what will you do different from your predecessor if you were elected?
Yes.
The number one thing that I would do when elected is be more engaging in the community. I would do more of these shows to make sure that I'm listening and responding to the residents and to do my very best to meet the needs of the residents. I think that is so critical to be involved with residents and then have a better understanding how to best work with them to meet their needs. If you're not engaging with your elected officials, then they're not there for you. We have to make sure that we're accessible and to make sure that your needs are heard and so that we can do the best we can to address them.
That's really awesome. We have Dr. Ali. Dr. Ali,
Yes, can you
are
hear me?
you? Yes, we
Yes.
can hear you now.
Okay, all right.
We've been waiting
Thank
for
you.
you, waiting for you for a long time, and
No, I've been on. I've heard everything you guys have been talking about. I've been following. I guess you guys just couldn't hear me.
oh,
But
sorry about that. Sorry about that. But I think,
I logged
yeah,
out and logged back in, and I think that fixed it.
yes,
So,
yes. So far, I
Congressman,
mean,
Congress lady,
she's
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Dr. Eileen.
Well,
Yes,
again,
I can.
thank you for coming on this show. I know I was instrumental in setting it up and
Okay.
introducing you to Barry, and I'm delighted that you were able to make the time to come on.
Yes.
We'll love to have you as our Congress lady for the 13th congressional district. Please
Thank
tell
you.
us the areas that covers the 13th congressional district again, please.
Thank you. It has 6 counties in it. And I'm going to start with Clayton County, the lower part of Clayton County. It has Morrow, Jonesboro, Panhandle, Lovejoy. Um, and then you go over a little bit to Henry County where you have McDonough and some parts of Hampton, which Clayton County has some of that area too. And then you have Lake Spivey, Lake Swan, Eagles Landing, and Stockbridge. You have all of the county of Rockdale, the entire county of Rockdale could vote. And then also DeKalb County, a small part of DeKalb County, which is Ellenwood, Flakes Mill, and Rex, Georgia, which is also leans into Clayton County. And then it goes over to Newton County, which has parts of Covington, Georgia. And then goes all the way up to Gwinnett, which has the southeast part of Gwinnett, which is Lilburn, Snellville, um, Rockbridge, Grayson, and Lawrenceville. So parts of those counties. So it's had a part of 6 counties. So my thing is, if you see Karen Rene on the ballot, please vote for Karen Rene because you may be a part of any of those 6 counties. But if you see my name, just vote Karen Rene. And the way I am positioned, I am next to last on, as you know, names are in alphabetical order, and my name is toward the bottom of the page. So just go to Karen Rene. Thank you, Dr. Ali, for setting this up and giving me an opportunity to speak with this great community. I want us to understand that we all work together as one.
Yeah. So Miss Rene, I think as you said, maybe we have to reschedule again.
Yes, I
Um,
want to come
but
back.
yes, we would love to have you here. But I mean, so far so good. I think with me, you need to convince me, but I'm convinced to give the vote now because so far
Thank
where like you cover the immigration and also I'm trying to help the youth, which is my main vision. It's about the youth because I
you.
always say with them we have a future. Without them, it's like we ain't going nowhere. So where you focusing is where we also looking up to. But again, I mean, we'd like you to be here and then
Okay.
ask more questions. Dr. Ali, we asked just few questions and she's able to cover most of our questions that we're supposed to ask. But
Okay.
Thank
I
you.
mean, our time we have about just 40 minutes and people have already sent their questions, but it's not, we can't cover it all. So what we'll do is, Dr. Ali, we would like you to ask because you wasn't with us to ask all your questions. So next time when she's here with us, then we can let also, because first charity begins at home. I always say that. So we at home have to ask all our questions. Then when she comes, then we'll ask those outside. Though I ain't say they are important, they are very, very important for them also to ask their questions. So, Doc, I mean, over to you, Jolate.
Well, the question you guys have asked some very very good questions. Quite impressive. I would just like to know from Miss Renee, um, how involved would you be with the local governments of the counties that you have mentioned? And I say that because the current incumbent, Mr. Scott, I've never seen him in person. I've never heard about him, but he represents this area. How would you remain involved with us so we will know who you are?
The first thing I would want to do is when I get elected is to make sure that we build a coalition, a delegation of all of the district leaders and elected leaders. I want to work with your elected leaders, your business leaders, and your residents. I will host town halls, meetings in your district, in your communities to make sure I address the issues and concerns. But number one, I would definitely work with all of your elected leaders. That means like from your state representatives to your county chair commissioners, your county commissioners, your mayors, your city council members, your business leaders, your activism, your radio stations with residents and all of their concerns. It is going to be critical for us to move our communities. I'm going to have to be engaged in these communities to make sure that we make sure we bring funding and the voices of the residents are heard. I really do believe in getting stuff done. I don't want to be in office, not see my residents, and not participate in making sure our lives are better. I want to make sure that we move the needle a lot here in the District 13.
Okay. All right. That is good to hear. Um, have you been invited to join a graduation parade sometime in May, around May 18th, from the Lionsgate subdivision?
No, I haven't, but I would love to do that. I think that sounds like a lot of fun. I have been invited in DeKalb County and Ellenwood. They have a
Mhm.
parade that's coming up. I've been invited to join theirs, but I would love to join the graduation parade. That sounds
Okay.
like a lot of fun because my heart is with a lot of the young people. I worked with Job Corps for 14 years, help improving those young people's lives. So this will be an honor to join them.
Okay. I'll talk to the organizing committee chair about that.
Yeah,
I
thank
really
you.
don't have much of many more questions to ask. I think you answered most of what I have in mind. So I'll let Mr. Berry and my uncle, Mr. Akins, to continue with this conversation. I wish I could have joined you today, but being Friday and just things came up that I didn't expect.
No problem. Thank you. I look forward to you guys inviting me back. I can't wait to come back and talk to your constituents again, your
Yeah,
listeners. This is great. Voice of a Nation, thank you so much for having me. I really,
yeah.
truly appreciate it.
You're welcome. So, I mean, we just spent an hour, like a minute, because we didn't really, the time just running like that. And again, we
Yes,
have
sir.
come to the end of the show. But as she said, she will come to the studio and we can't wait. But again, I'm being convinced. And I mean, this is one of the shows that, we have a lot of technical problems, so we couldn't even play any commercials. Guess what? It's all questions. And yeah,
It's, it's
man,
okay.
from everywhere. But again, we're sorry we did that to you, but it's okay. We are convinced that's the most important. But next
Hmm.
time, I mean, we'll set up well because of the technical things. We couldn't put up more commercial to have a break, at least to breathe. But the questions, questions, questions. So, what would be your last word? What do you want to tell your followers, people who are they don't know who to vote for now, and
Hmm.
they are kind of waiting for people like you to follow them, to follow
I'm
you.
asking, please go to my website page if you have any more questions to look at my bio on all the things that we've been doing in the community. It's www.electkarenrenee.com. And that's www.electkaren, Karen. Renee is spelled Rene with one E, .com. And you can also reach out to me, donate to my campaign. And I'm here for you if you have any questions. But I can't wait to come back to join you live on Voice of a Nation. Thank you guys so much. I'm Karen Renee and running for Congress in the 13th District.
Wow. Thank you, Mr. Akins. What will be also your last word?
Miss Rene, thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk to you. And we can't wait to have you live here in the studio so we can see you in person and then talk about everything that you intend doing. You really hit on most of the points that are, the issues that are much of my concern was housing with disabilities and youth and then employment and all this. So I'm going to prepare more questions on those
Okay.
issues for you, especially especially on mental health. It's one of my passions. So I want you to get ready that next time when we meet, it's going to be one of my most
Yes, sir. Yes,
area
sir,
that we
Dr. Akins.
discuss a lot about. Thank
Okay.
you.
All
And
right.
Doug,
Thank you, guys.
yeah, Doug, what's be your last word, please?
All right. Thank you. Thank you guys for having me. Y'all have
All
a
right,
blessed weekend, okay?
you too, and
All
we
right.
thank you for being on the show. And
Yes, sir.
again, you are listening to Ancestry Berry Show that comes on live on the Voice of the Nation Radio, coming on every Friday from 7 to 8. And you
Mm-hmm.
can listen to us on TuneIn. You can listening to us on YouTube. You can also watch us live on Voice of the Nation Facebook, and also you can follow us in Instagram and TikTok everywhere. Let your voice be heard. So we thank you all for following to listen, and also go and vote for Karen Rene. All right, thank you. We love you, and next week maybe she will be here.
Yes.
We love you all. Take care and be good and have a blessed weekend. Bye bye.
Thank you, Dr. Ali. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.
Thank you.